Oh, I think this is going to work. Okay, I'm a little early, so we got to wait till the crowd gets here. There's already somebody here saying, I'm here, but I'm late. I do laundry. You're not late. You're like the first one here. Oh, and you know what? I might have to switch over to my bifocals. Oh, you're there too, Princess. Oh, it's working. This is so cool. It's really live. And I can, you know what? I like this. I've got my big screen here, and I can actually read the comments, because otherwise, this is what I do all day. See, I have to put on my smart glasses. Do I look smart? This is what I wear at work when I'm passing my meds and doing my computer work. And then I have to look. Maybe I can read it without my smart glasses. I can. Wow. Okay. So should we wait? What time is it? Okay, we got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I really kind of want to wait till the crowd kind of gets here. I don't know if we're going to have a crowd. So, Daniel from Quebec. I was in Quebec. I was actually up by La Touque. Does that sound familiar? On the Schwinnigan River. There was a big marathon, canoe marathon up in La Touque. Very beautiful. So, oh, Mario. Oh, okay. There were shots outside just a little while ago, and you know what? Here, I'm gonna get Mario just real quick. He's kind of scared of the shots. Every now and then we'll have like a random boom, 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 boom. I don't know what these people do around here. Everybody's gonna shoot, and then it's actually raining. It hasn't rained for like over 2 months. Yeah. So, oh, else what? Prepper Princess is here too? No way. Yeah, see the Prepper Princess. Everybody knows Prepper Princess. It's kind of cool. But I'm going to go see where Mario is. Just hang on a second. Mario. Oh, there you are. Oh, here we go. Here he is. Say hello. Hello to everybody. He was there was actually, we have a mouse. We have a mouse. So Mario found the mouse the other day in my closet, and I don't really want to kill the mouse, but you know, he's in the house, and he ran right by me, and Mario. Well, so we got a couple of traps set, but Mario was detecting the mouse by the refrigerator just a little while ago until he heard the shot. So, everybody is. Oh, look at that! Everybody's coming. Buffering here. Anyone? What's buffering? Anybody else having problems seeing? Oh. So you know, it's really blurry on my end too. I don't know if I can do anything about that. But I'm actually here. See, now you know what it's like to have my eyes. This is Starry's world blurriness. I wish it was clearer. I just don't know why it doesn't show up like that. But the camera keeps pausing. Oh, really? Well, this is all experimental. So, you know, we'll just kind of try to do the best that we can with this first try. And I'm hoping to do more live streams, you know, maybe every couple weeks when I have time. But I really want to get the live streams going. So this is the first one where there may be some kinks that I need to work out. I may have to figure out why it's blurry, why it's pausing me. I don't know if it's my connection. Tried jiggling. Oh, the modem's upstairs. There's no modem down here. Oh, all my chats. Oh, you guys all disappeared. Oh, no. That's not good. I see no comments. This is not good. Okay. Your comments disappeared and now they came back. So, you know, if we cut out, just know that next time we do it, hopefully we'll get the kinks out. So it's cool, Star. Even if you can't see it, it's pretty rad. Yeah, you can hear my voice live. Yeah, and there's Mario. So so far so good. So I just got home. Me and Mario were out doing a little walk, and I usually paddle with him, but the storm was coming in. And like I said, we haven't had any rain for a long time, and everything is so dry. And actually I stayed at the apartment today. Usually I'm gone like all the time. I'm out doing all my little adventures. I'm just very active, either out biking. Yes, I bike. In fact, this morning, yeah, this is what happened. I was on this, and I don't have pictures to show you, but I biked I think it was 2 hours, 2 hours all the way up some logging road. And it was beautiful weather. So I did that today, and I came back, it was about 3 hours. Thank you, Tara. I look good today. I can hear and see. This is cool. Hello, 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 hello. So since it is almost 7 o'clock, 6:57 on my end, and I bet you it's pretty late for you guys because I know everybody is through. And it'd be like 6 in the morning. Well, over there in Tennessee, it's 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm like, I'm still in bed. Don't call me at 6 in the morning. I don't get up till later. And I'm not a morning person either. But yeah, it works. Hi, Jim. Oh, I know Jim. Hello, Jim. Caroline, you have always been athletic, Starry. Oh, have I always been? That's funny because I used to pass out in gym class. Yeah, I was athletic, but only to a point. I actually used to play a lot of tennis when I was in junior high. But when I was in gym class, if they had us run, I would pass out. In fact, I remember passing out one day in the hallway in high school, and they found me, and they had to put me in a wheelchair and bring me to the doctor. And this started when I was a little girl, and I guess apparently I had a problem hyperventilating. And it wasn't until I became an adult that I became an athlete. I think it was at the age of 23 when I started running. So, go figure. You can transform your life at any time. I could never run. And pretty soon I was doing 5Ks and 10Ks, and then I went crazy. I started doing mountain bike races and adventure races. I just became extreme, really extreme. So, but, that was kind of a whole different life for me back then. So much has changed. A lot of it has changed because I found the Lord. And this is interesting. You asked me about my athletics because when I used to race, I was a pretty, second place is only second. Second place is the first loser. Yeah, that was my attitude. I had a pretty competitive will, and I would have no problem running over someone on the mountain bike if they got in my way. I mean, I wouldn't literally run over their body, but if I have to bump them out of the way, I bump him on the way. You gonna get down there, Mario? Okay, say goodbye. We'll see you. We'll see you later. He likes to sit on the floor, not on my lap. But anyway, yeah. I was really competitive, and it wasn't good. And it wasn't until I came to the Lord that He, I remember sitting in my cargo container and I had boxes and boxes of prizes, medals. I've been in magazines. When I finally realized that, who did this glorify? Glorified me. Wasn't doing it for the Lord. This is before I was saved. And I kept trying to fill something that couldn't get filled. And my athletics didn't do it because I reached the echelon with my athletics. I mean, I really, I was very competitive and very good at what I did. And it never fulfilled me until I found the Lord. So there's my story. Buffering again. What does that mean? Yeah, it's hard to imagine you doing that. And imagine me doing that. Yeah, I was in the state of Wisconsin. I was, in the Midwest, I was one of the top women athletes. I could crush people. It wasn't a good thing because I was not I was a fair athlete, and I was, but they would line us up. Like when I mountain bike race, I would get preferred start because I would win a lot of the races. So the people from the last race who finished in the top 3 would get preferred start, and all the women hated me. And so that kind of developed some hate in me too, because they hated me because I had won the race before and I was winning the races. So women are really nasty, especially in athletics. And so then that would just feed me. And it was not good. And, I try to be nice. I try to be nice. But you know what? Satan kind of knows. He knows our desires and how to twist all that stuff. So, okay. Yeah, we know it's a little fuzzy. What kind of plant is growing behind you? Oh, like maybe over there that's not a plant. Those are actually like a flower weed vine that I just picked. I like to fill it up with stuff that I get out in the woods. Are we missing anything? It's awesome. I'm not the only running. It's the store. I run to the store now. Very slowly. Oh, you're an inspiration to many. Thank you. Thank you. I try. That's kind of my, oh, I don't want to cry. But, I don't know why I'm getting weepy. But I just think about all the things that God has given me. And a lot of it is just you. I don't think people really understand, for 25 years, the person I was and where I came from. And I didn't have any friends. And, and I don't want to get into my ex and the dynamics of that relationship, but, he's a very antisocial person. And when I married him, he became my God and kind of shut me off from family and, friends. And that's what fed me. And it's almost like I metamorphosized into him. And it wasn't until my accident, and I was saved before my accident. God was still working in my life, but when I had my accident, that's when God broke me and started remaking me. And the first thing he did was bring me fellowship. And that was amazing. That was amazing because I didn't know what fellowship was. I didn't know what real love was. I didn't know what generosity was. Here my whole life, even money-wise, how our relationship was. It was all about earning money, and we counted and we'd save it, and it was our God. And when I earned money, I would give it to my husband, and that made me feel that I had worth. And what a wrong way to build a relationship, right? So I have a lot of baggage from that, a lot of things that I need to work through. So, but God saved me and refined me, and it really did start by coming out to Idaho, and then that accident, and that's when he really started like, okay, I'm getting my hands in there, and I'm going to show you, Starry, that I'm your God, and I love you, and I'm going to remake you. Okay, well, fill the washer. I hope these comments are actually. Oh, hello, that active investor. I know all you people. I read all your comments all the time. It's so awesome. So, I hope you all liked my new video. I've just put that grocery outlet one up, and the feedback's been really good. People have been saying I need to do more videos like that, or I need to do more nursing, health, and videos. And just because I'm still in this big transitional phase of mine in this apartment, and I'm sorry about the buffering. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, I'm getting your comments late too. But anyway, so I'm hoping to do some more of those videos where I can actually expound on my nursing expertise. And I've got a wealth of knowledge. I've been nursing for a long time, and I have an extensive background, and even Pateron says, girl, you got to start talking about all your medical stuff, your health and your wellness, and people want to hear that stuff, and I forget about that. But now maybe that my life is changing, and all of this has changed, I'm going to be offering and talking a little bit more about, helping you, friends, with your health and insight and all of that. You know, even that trip to the grocery store, I was looking at their frozen food stuff. So hopefully that'll be good. I'm glad you like the grocery store video, Carolyn. Good. And medical. When I came back from the conference, I really wanted to dive into the medical videos, but just because there was so much content with what was going on in my life, I had to kind of pick and choose. But you'll see cute. I've got some awesome videos, just homesteading projects that I've been working on. I had a medicinal salve that I just made, and I uploaded that. I made some lotion, and you may be saying, "Oh, lotion." Yeah, well, so what? Well, I'm a wound care nurse, and we forget that our skin is the biggest organ on our body. Eczema, they've got ulcers that don't heal. They have, age spots. They're wrinkling. They got dry skin. Our skin. We're not taking care of our skin. So I wanted to make out of rose hips. Actually, I chose because roses are just so high in antioxidants, vitamin C, and it's got all these compounds in them. I wanted to show people how to do just the lotion. Because if you read the junk that's on these bottles that we're putting on our skin, I talk to this with my patients. We need to nourish and protect our skin. We need to feed our skin, and we're not. We're not. So I've got that video coming up. So I've got stuff queued, and I'm working on. I did the apple cider vinegar, and there's my girl, laureate lady, Victoria. You're here. Gina Woodhouse, love your devotion. How did you meet your friend that shares God's word with you? Well, there she is. That would be Victoria. And I met her through when I had my accident. And she was one of the that's what it was. And tell you what, God brought me a powerhouse for me. I talked to her daily. She was at the conference, and she sharpens my iron all the time. And you know what? We need that in our lives. We need at least one good person who's walking with the Lord, who's not afraid to tell you, hey, you need to go back to God's word, or you need to listen to this, or you need to deny yourself. She's been telling me this week, deny yourself. Sometimes I don't want to hear it, but we have great conversations. So looking forward to those visits. I'm learning. I'm trying to keep up with the comments too. You grow aloe vera, pepper princess. Oh, you're so lucky that you can grow aloe vera. It's not warm enough to grow it here, but that stuff makes excellent stuff. It's very nourishing to the skin. And yeah, amazing when you get sunburn. Amazing. Okay, have I missed anything here? I'm sorry. No. Yeah, be careful of the tomatoes, and they line that with that resin. And because tomatoes are really high in acid, it just they are the biggest no-no to buy in the store. Not all canned goods, but tomatoes are right up there. But I always tell people, do your own research. Don't always believe me. Empower yourself and do it yourself. But you know what? I just talked to another friend of mine. Her name is Kathy. She's an older lady, and she told me this is a great story. She is living in a senior compound right now, and she was out where the parking area is, and there was a tomato plant growing out of the crack. So she took the tomato plant, dug it up, and brought it inside her house. She said, it's as big as a tree right now. And she's getting tomatoes. There you go. It doesn't take much effort to grow something like tomatoes. You can do it in your apartment, in your home. And then you know what? You get enough and you can can them. And then I always tell people, if you can't grow, go to the farmer's market, buy a big container of tomatoes and can them. And there you go. You don't have to worry about the canned tomatoes in the grocery store, and they will be cheaper. You got a cell warning today for PA flood on the creek. Oh, somebody's got flooding going on. That's not good. I know Victoria sent me a picture of her water gauge, and lots of water. Like, you guys get flooding just like that. if this is the right place. Oh, maybe I should. Maybe this is the wrong place. Hang on. Is this the wrong place? Place? Oh, I'm here too. Place. Oh, I'm here. Oh, this is strange. This is strange. Okay. Is this helping at all? Okay, hang on here. I've got two windows open now. Okay, hang on here. I've got two windows open now. Okay, hang on here. I've got two windows open now. Okay, hang on here. I've got two windows open now. Okay, hang on here. Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, that was weird. That was like hearing myself, like my double or something. Nancy, yeah, you're getting feedback. I was on I don't know where I'm supposed to be. All I know is I clicked the live button on YouTube, and maybe I am on the wrong thing, and that's why it's so fuzzy. And is it done getting feedback now? I hope so. Any more in your eye surgery? Well, this is interesting because when I was talking to Kathy, she lives in Coeur d'Alene, and she goes to the Spokane Eye Clinic too. And she said, Starry, I can drive you, and I can follow you all the way back home. Her ex-husband will follow behind because she wants to make sure I'm going to be safe and sound. My manager at work actually came up to me this last week, and she says, I know your eyes are bad. I gave you a big amount of time in September so you can get your eyes done. I don't know if I can get PRK or LASIK. Sounds like most people that I've heard on YouTube has been talking about the LASIK, and it seems very successful. And PRK, they abrade your eyes. It's still very new. So they just do the flap, because it seems to me that there's a long history of there's substantial success. And PRK, I think it's so new. What's going to happen 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line? I don't think there's any. It's so new, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about the success of it. So I might end up getting LASIK. So we'll see. Any chance you doing a homesteading conference on the West Coast? I would love to do a homesteading. Yeah. In fact, Tracy Trainer, is that her last name? Tracy Trainer? Or, I'm sorry. I forget the name of her homestead. Forgive me. But she's trying to organize an off-grid homesteading conference. And we haven't touched base yet. I have just been really busy. But I think the Northwest, Pacific Northwest needs a homesteading conference. I mean, the one in Tennessee was just so big. Pateron did such a good job at it. But I'd be there. I'd be there in a second. What's your preferred way to make apple cider vinegar? My preferred way? Well, I don't know. Is there more than one way? My preferred way is just taking all those apples and fermenting them in the filtered water, and then taking out all the apples and putting it on the shelf. Trayer, that's it. Thank you. I agree. Different gardening methods for different parts of the country. Are we talking about gardening now too? Yes, it does. I was thinking it would be great. It's been pretty bad. Oh, hands and feet. Oh, hi. We got to go hiking one of these days. I know, I'm just kind of trying to. I'm so busy in the summertime. I'm never here. So, all right. So what we're having, getting buffering. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about the buffering, and it's not on my end. I just think it's the feed right now. Found a turning barrel compost on Craigslist. Oh, that's great for $30. Do you think it would be as good as a compost on the ground on a tarp? I've never used one that turns. The problem with that is you're going to run out of space. So that's why we never really did. We just did the one on the ground because your compost pile is going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow. And it's so easy just to turn it yourself. But $30, throw the stuff in there and turn it and see what happens. But if you're going to continue to compost, I always say got to get yourself, you know, a nice big area, because that compost pile will get bigger. And sometimes those compost barrels are self-limiting. So, but good for you for looking at Craigslist. I always look at Craigslist for stuff, especially for $30. Okay, West Coast Prepper Conference would be great. Yeah, Tammy Trayer. Yep. That's, oh yeah, Trayer. Okay, we're figuring out who she is. I had eye growth on the corner of my eye. Oh, we're out of sync, and I had a guy fix my eyes in 2020. Oh, wow, nice. Oh, I'm so sorry about the buffering. That's such a bummer. That's got to be irritating for you guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know how I can fix that. Next time I will figure out if I need to be here or if I need to be on the other, because I have two windows. I had two windows open. One was the YouTube, and this is YouTube, but they brought me two places. So, oh, you hear the train? Yeah, I just drowned it out. That train always goes by here. Oh, you have smoke in Reno? We have smoke here. I was up on Burton's Peak the other day. I did a short hike. And when I got up there, I couldn't even see all the mountains. But there was an active fire in the mountains that I don't even think that they know about. And then I was paddling the other day down on Lake Ponderay, and all my mountains were gone. Oh, and then the chopper was coming in, and they have the big bladders, and then they fly into the lake, and they fly into the Kootenai River too, and they scoop up all that water. So I've been hearing the choppers all day. Oh, I'm sorry about the buffering. Sorry about the buffering. Oh, yeah. Have any windows open on your computer? Oh, I do. Maybe. Okay, hang on. I can do that. Let me close out all the windows. Oh. Okay. Okay, all my windows are closed, so maybe that will help. Oh, Susan Michaels, hello. You did find me. Did you go to another place? Because I'm trying to figure out if this is the place that I'm supposed to be. I hope there's not other people on the other site waiting for me. That would be awful. That would be awful. But is the buffering a little bit better? I hope so. Hi, Sue. I found the link. I tried to watch you on my phone. Oh, I didn't know you could maybe watch me on the phone. I think you're in the right place. I got it. Oh, okay. Clicked on that link. Okay. Okay. That's better? So not so much buffering problem? Okay. Well, everybody's you're being so gracious. So thank you. Thank you. But I know there was more people that wanted to show up. I remember there was one guy on YouTube that said he had showed up, and I was kind of watching to who was coming, and he was going to ask me a whole bunch of questions. He had. I came when I was saved, and where's the hot date? Yeah, Mario already went to bed. He was a dud before. He's so funny. I took him. I should tell you my story about Mario. So Mario now sits in the back of my kayak, and he just sits there like the captain. And I can usually get some pretty big waves, and he just stays on it. And I know Mario's a party pooper, and he's so well at balancing on that kayak. He snaps at the flies. And I'm like, sit down back there. You go. He won't flip thing bigger, and pretty soon, I mean, that's all I could hear is the crashing. And I'm thinking, this ain't good. I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. Because the mountains really change the waves. You can go around the corner; it'll be really calm. So my paddle in the big waves, and it was so choppy. The waves were the same, so I started turning back, and all of a sudden I heard Mario barking, and I'm like, and I noticed suddenly he's on the shoreline. Don't know how that happened. So he must have, and I was really close to the shoreline with the big wave. So he must have accidentally fell off and he got to the shoreline, so that was fine. He was safe. So I paddled there, and the waves are coming, and they're going. Like the whole kayak was filled with water. I had to dump out the water. So then I get into the kayak again, and I point it this way, and he jumps on. So here we go. I'm paddling, paddling, paddling. And I'm coming up to a dock, and when I paddled past these people the first time, it was a mom and her kids. She waved, and they were all happy. So now I'm trying to, paddle the big waves, and it's coming over the top. And the lady's like, "Where's your dog?" And I can't turn my neck, right? So I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Your dog. Where's your dog? He's not on the back of your kayak." I'm like, "What? What? Here are these big waves," and I'm like, I've gone a ways, and I'm thinking, oh. So I quickly start paddling towards her pier because I'm like, Mario, and I'm thinking the worst, and she's like, and I'm paddling, and the waves are pushing me in, and all of a sudden I look on the pier, and here comes Mario. He's like all cool. He's like, "Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I just swam in the biggest waves of my life, and now I'm real cool, and I'm on the he was on the pier." I couldn't believe it. Bless his heart. He was all happy. And then I ended up they ended up picking him up because the waves were so big I had to brace myself on the pier, and then I put him in the cockpit, and it took almost an hour to paddle across the bay. Yeah, the Lord was with me that time. So, yeah, he went to bed. Yeah, he went to bed. Mario, the king, went to bed. He is a good swimmer. He's a really strong swimmer. And you know what? When I got Mario, he was really tiny. And the first thing I did when I was in Wisconsin is I threw him in the lake so he could swim. And I mean, he was so small, and he swam, and he grew up swimming. So, and he does have a life preserver, but it's more hindrance than anything. And it fits good, but it comes up by his neck. And dogs are made to swim. And a lot of people ask me about a life preserver. I think they could hinder them more than they could actually help. And if you've got a dog that's a good swimmer, they're going to swim. They're going to swim out of it. I could dunk Mario in, and he'll go underneath the water and pop back out and swim. That's how good he is. So yeah, they're really bulky. Hi, Seeker of Truth. Hi. Wow. Well, now we're getting some people. Yeah. So, wow, what else can we talk about? So this is my apartment. I haven't really done a grand tour, but in fact, I was just talking to, like I said, this Kathy, and we were talking about toilets because she just bought, she bought a couple of years ago an incinerator, not an incinerator, a compost toilet, $600. Very expensive. And it's a system like I had up on the homestead, but it turns and it separates the urine from the other stuff. And then I was telling her about my trip to the dollar store and how I bought some cleaner for the toilet. And we both agreed that the cleaners are so toxic. And I'm not used to having a flushing toilet. And they really are dirty. I mean, I don't like a flushing toilet. They're dirty. You have to use chemicals to clean them. And we both said, yeah, we should be using vinegar. I forgot about that. I've got vinegar all over the place, and I forgot about cleaning my toilet with vinegar. But, every time you flush the toilet, there's water all over the place. You got to clean. And I really miss my composting toilet. And in fact, like I've got these lights on. It takes me a while to get used to having lights on, and leaving the computer on, and having an electric stove. I took out, they had an electric coffee pot, they had a microwave, they had a toaster oven. I took all that out and let me have it, because this apartment actually came furnished. None of the stuff in here is mine, except my personal stuff. By God's grace, He gave me an apartment that was furnished. Can you believe that? Because I didn't get much from the homestead. So God brought me to this apartment. It's affordable. These people live upstairs. I love them. I have a garden place. I have my own backyard. Mario can be here. And it came furnished. Yeah. And I do. I like my apartment, and I like it because I feel safe here. That's number one. I feel safe here. And I always have to remind myself that I am a single woman. My dad was here. He used to be a cop. And he would always, he bought me a big monster um, bottle of bear spray. It was the biggest one you could. While I was going on a biking trip in Utah with a group, 20s when I got married, and even though I'm a very strong, independent woman, having really, really different. So this apartment was a blessing, being furnished and affordable, and having them upstairs. I can hear them walk around upstairs. They've got the dogs, and you know what? I didn't think I would like that, but I like it because there's always a presence here. It's strange, but I like that. I like that, and maybe one day the Lord will move. I don't know what He has planned. Kind of excited about it, but I have a feeling that I'm probably not staying here long term. But wherever it is, He'll be with me, and okay, He sees my security anyway. So yeah, I am really lucky to find this place. Yeah, God is going to give you tenfold. Yes, and that's true. God, yeah, I couldn't do it without Him. Do you use expensive bear spray? Did you use wasp spray? I still have wasp spray underneath my car seat. I lost my can of bear spray. I think it's up at the homestead. Yeah, and whatever's up there is gone. So so I haven't bought any because it is a little expensive. But I do have some pepper spray, a little canister. So I do have some things, and I do have my pistol. Not that I would use it, but there has been occasion when I do bring my pistol. And I'm sorry that it's constantly uploading. I was hoping, I don't know. Oh, and I should say, like, the person, if you're having problems with the connection, shut all your windows too. Have a clean computer with no other windows. You need to keep trusting. Yeah, amen to that. Absolutely. He does do everything for a reason. And I just look at my life, and I just can't believe it. And every day, in fact, if you watched my last sermon, remember the threes? So at the beginning of that video, and this was God, I'm walking out onto the field, and I find 3 feathers. And the sermon, my testimony was about how God brought me the 3 scriptures about you are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. The lamp, don't cover it up. You want to uncover it for the whole house to see, so that you can show your good works and glorify God, right? Our Father. So He gave me that scripture 3 times. I get this the next morning after uploading it. I opened up my was it my Bible again? I think it was my Bible. I'm praying, I'm worship, and I open up, and I just opened up randomly, and He opened it up to that verse again. I forgot what else happened, but I mean, it was like, woo. Sometimes I get a little like, woo, this is spooky, but that's when you're walking in the spiritual realm, and I never thought God would get me to that place. And me and Victoria were talking about that today, where you have 1 foot in the world, but you have 1 foot in the spiritual realm. And the Holy Spirit, boy, when He works, He works. And ever since that I uploaded that video for you friends to watch about the 3s, then it was pointed out to me about the Trinity. I didn't think about that. God works in numbers. And then every day after that, and I don't own my devotions out there, but every day after that, the scripture He had been giving me in the devotion built upon that. So the Lord is working so strong in my life. So Starry. Oh, Sue Griggs. Oh, hi, Sue. You just have a funky. Oh, good. I'm glad all your windows are closed. I'm sorry. But yeah, I know you, Sue, and you're in Tennessee. Oh, and things move slower here. There's something to be said, because when I lived in Wisconsin, we had all the people from Illinois come up, and we had a name for them. People from Wisconsin didn't like the people from Illinois because they came up and bought places on the lake, on the lakes of Wisconsin, and they drove, and then they built the big $1 million homes, which drove up the prices of the taxes. Paid a lot of taxes, property taxes. Wisconsin was horrendous, and they drove very fast. Everything was fast, 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 fast. And I have a good story about the rich people from Illinois. Maybe I should tell it to you, but let me see here. It's better than sit down, cycles, move, wash, and dryer. I've been single for so long. It's the only life I know. I'm slowly understanding that there is more to my existence than my marital status. That's right. That's right. And you know what? And like my sister, she finally came to a spot. She's been single for a long time. She was married and divorced, and she just constantly always looking for a man. Never felt complete because she really thought she had a man. And as her walk got stronger with the Lord, and she still struggles. She's like all of us. It's kind of up and down all the time. But when I went to visit her, she finally said, I think the Lord doesn't have me with anybody for a reason. There's a reason why I'm single. There's a reason why he didn't bring me a man. And there are some of us where that's the case. He may want us single. And the one thing I've learned with God is when we finally realize that we need to see everything through his eyes, it really helps. It really helps. Instead of looking at it through our eyes, our human fleshly eyes, we have to remind ourselves, God. Smokey Robinson said, it's a taste of life is worse than none at all. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, here's my story. I'll just tell you a quick story because I'm a storyteller. When I lived in Wisconsin, we built this beautiful log home on Squaw Lake Road, actually. And it was a dead-end road. And at the end of the dead-end road, there was a beautiful cul-de-sac with like $1 million houses. And we lived on the very front of it where the older places were and lots of cabins. And so how can I, okay. So at the, I remember I said, the Illinois people are not very friendly. Well, I would run down my road all the time, or I'd walk with my dog and I'd wave. And people even there on a dead end road would not wave. They would not look at you. They would not wave. And it was a very seasonal place. We were there mainly full time, but it was seasonal because the people from Illinois would come up, the rich people, and that's just how they are. They just have their lifestyle is very, very different. So I remember I put up my garbage for the day, and we used to have garbage pickup. They would come, the big garbage truck, and we'd pay for them to pick it up. So I left to run to the store, and when I came back, my garbage can was overflowing with new garbage. Now remember, this is before I was saved. So, okay, this is just a story before I was saved. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. Somebody dumped their garbage in and I gotta pay for the garbage, right? I wasn't very happy. So back then, I was like, I'm gonna find out who it is. And I started going through the garbage, right? I went through the garbage and I found a dinner list. Oh, a fancy dinner list. And it had everybody's name on it. And it was on their, I don't know if it was on their stationery or whatever, but it had their address, not their names, but their address on there. And I'm like, this is our road. They live on our road. So I'm trying to figure out who would do something like this. Because I know the people up the road who are there full time, but I don't know any up the garbage, put it in my car. I was going to take it back to them. As a Christian now, I would have just said, I would have left it. But this was before I was saved. This is how I was. So I got my car and I'm driving around looking at the addresses and looking at the These are the rich people? Are you kidding me? So I'm looking at, it's not that house, it was the biggest house on the cul-de-sac. It was really like the $2 million house. And I thought, I can't believe that person won't pay for their own garbage pickup. Nope, they're too cheap. So what I did is I hand delivered the garbage and put it in front of their step. Oh, I knocked on the door. I was brave. I was knocking on the door because I was going to give it back, but they were gone. So I left it after weeks on time, a month on time, but the raccoons found the garbage. Yeah, and it was all over their yard, their fancy, their manicure yard. Yeah, and back then I didn't feel bad about it, but I should have felt bad about it because, but see, that's the difference between me being saved and even back then, you look at that and you're like, yeah, they deserve it. They deserve it. They're those rich people. But we can't have that attitude. That's not loving. And I can tell you a 1,000 stories about how it was before I became saved. And I have a richer, more blessed life. Less stress, less anxiety, more peace. I've got the Lord talking to me all the time, the Holy Spirit guiding me. It's pretty awesome. So, okay, it looks like these comments have stopped. I was a grumpy guy. I had an odd old uncle I helped. I went to Canada and he chased ladies away. The way he was. My old boss did. People were dumping in the dumpster at work. Oh, loaded in a truck and dumped it in front of the lawn. See, I mean, this is the way of the world. But I wouldn't do that anymore. Yeah, I tell you what, like Victoria said, she was like the reminder this week. We need to deny ourselves, and we really need to put ourselves in the place of Jesus. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? And yeah, I was a really different person back then. And like I said, a lot of it just had to do with the marriage that I was in too, because you remember, we both weren't saved. We both weren't submitting under God. We both didn't recognize God as a power in our life. So, but some marriages that are really dysfunctional can't. And then, of course, you have all that dysfunction. And when one person becomes saved, what happens is it exposes the sin of the other person, and it shows them how they're living. It's really hard. It's really hard. I didn't know how hard it was going to be. I thought my ex-husband, would be overjoyed that I found the Lord. Yeah, I thought he would be overjoyed, but he wasn't. He wasn't. So, okay, moving on. What is the devotional book you read? It's called Daily Devotional. I've got a lot of different devotionals that I'm using now. Our Daily Bread. I go to Proverbs. I just found Desiring God with Pastor Piper. Jesus Calling was definitely what walked me through my accident. That was a powerful devotion. I still use that. In fact, even today, it's really good. Talked about the power of the tongue and how we really need to watch what we say. So, but I have a stack now of devotionals. And in fact, I was talking to Victoria about one of the devotionals I was using. Emotions, and it didn't settle right with me. And I want you to pay attention here because it didn't settle with my spirit. And it was very uplifting. And then there was always a couple sentences that just didn't seem right. And Victoria says, that's the Holy Spirit telling you. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. And I'm not going to go back to that devotion. In fact, Victoria said she knew of that devotion. She's a fellow's been around for a long time, but she said I couldn't read it either. It just didn't. He's an older fellow. But you have to find what works for your own spiritual walk, and the Holy Spirit will guide you with your devotion. I shut off Win 7 codes being effective, but people still having problems. What do you think of growing sprouts? I used to grow sprouts, and I've done it in mason jars. I also done it in the little stackables, and I've done not a video on growing sprouts, but growing fodder, which is the same thing for the chickens. So grow fodder, it's just in a bigger system with Home Depot pails. But yeah, those are great for micronutrients, and we should get more greens. Right now, you know, I should really do a video about my diet. A lot of people ask about what I eat, my exercising. And it's funny because on YouTube, people try to pigeonhole what I am. You know, some will say she's vegan, she's vegetarian, she's paleo, she's keto. Oh, but she don't eat meat. Oh, but I think she does because she hunts and she's got meat in her pantry. And it's interesting because when it comes to our choice of diet, why they don't eat meat. I don't understand why argue about that label. And I remember actually being pretty slammed on YouTube because I said I was vegetarian and now I'm canning meat. Well, yeah, part of our homesteading was raising meat birds and hunting. And Mr. H was a meat eater, and occasionally, and I used to be a bigger meat eater actually when I first married. Used to eat venison all the time, and then my body chemistry changed. My body changed, so my body said, I don't want that much meat anymore. In fact, I don't really want anything. I lost my whole meat really, and the only time I would eat meat is Thanksgiving because I love turkey. But even after I'd eat the turkey, I was like, ah. And I used to love chicken. Really don't eat too much chicken anymore. I do love canned chicken though. Oh, I could eat that, but I don't because I don't. My body's not craving that. And then what I started craving was, I don't know, more vegetables and more raw. So I eat a lot of raw, especially during the summertime, and no meat in the summer. Every now and then I'll have a. You're gonna die about this. Every now and then, because it's summer, I'll have a hamburger. Yeah, it's like I get this urge. And, you know, I listen to my body. So if my body says you need it, I don't do bread with it or anything. It's just I'll fry up a little hamburger. Not a lot, but, you know, and every now and then, I think that's the only thing that I really do put in my mouth. Every now and then, maybe a piece of canned chicken, but not much. But it really is, and I have nothing wrong with meat. That's the other thing. You know, people have really just trashed meat. But this is the thing: when you hunt your own meat, it's the best natural source of protein. Does our body meat? You know, I don't. Does it need it? I don't know, but I just know it's not going to kill you. But I know the stuff in the store probably will, because the stuff in the store, you know, if it's not grass-fed and organic, it's not good too. And everything in moderation too. So where I'm at with meat, not opposed to putting a piece of meat. I have more of a paleo diet and a keto diet and a raw diet. Does that make sense? So I do a lot of nuts, avocado, raw vegetables. I do have some cooked recipes, but during the summer I really don't cook too much. Do some fish until my dad told me about how poisonous salmon was and tilapia was. So I haven't done that anymore. You know, Victoria, because if you used to love tuna, I get some protein in, and I do, and then I add extra protein. My dot. Well, what did you hear about the cardiologist? Oh, you want to hear about the cardiologist? And my echo? There's no doctor. Well, that's great. So they canceled my appointment. I thought, you know what? This would be great if I had active angina, because I would be dead by the time I get in to do a treadmill. You know, this is a travesty with healthcare. And the healthcare here in the Panhandle, Idaho, maybe I think the whole state of Idaho is very poor. When I lived in Wisconsin, we had top-notch healthcare. And when I came and moved out here to Idaho, I was appalled. We've got some good doctors and very compassionate nurses, but we don't have very good healthcare. Limited meat is good, yeah. Raw diet is the best. It is the best. But, you know, this is the problem also with raw. To be completely raw, most people can't do it. And it's expensive to be completely raw, because most people aren't growing their own vegetables. And then you go in the store, and if you want to buy organic, it's expensive. You know, there's a reason why processed food is so cheap. And I just did a video on this too. You'll see it coming. But I was just talking about how processed food is cheap, and the reason why it's cheap is because they're poisoning us, and then they keep us in the hospitals, and it keeps the pharmaceutical companies in business. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think there's something to that. Without even done keto, and I lost about 60 pounds. Yeah, and that's amazing that you lost all that weight. But you know what? You probably will, because this is the thing. Our body, we're so toxic. We don't even realize how toxic our diet is. And then we do stuff like completely cut out protein and go with something more natural and raw, or we do a keto. We start shedding the weight. But I always say everything in moderation, because even the keto diet and the paleo diet can be, they're still missing things. And it changes your metabolism. I believe it's the keto diet that actually changes the Krebs cycle. And God, you know what? This is what I would say. God designed the body perfectly, and then we try to mess with it. That's why I try not to mess with it too much. So I try not to do these radical, and I don't do diets. I just eat what my body needs. And I try to think about what God would want us, what he put on the earth, and what he would desire us to feed ourselves with. And there's so much stuff. And I will do everything that I can to eat naturally, and then just stay away from the processed stuff. What I cheat with? Victoria knows what I cheat with. I think the one time I was cheating with, what are those licorice things? Goodies? I don't know what they're called. They look like a little bullet. They're white and purple. Pure poison. I remember this winter I cheated with some M&Ms, peanut M&Ms. Oh, I was on an M&M thing for like a couple days. Horrible, poisonous. And when I do that, and I think it's hormonal, us women, Twizzlers. No, it wasn't Twizzlers. No. You know what it was. Good and Plenty. Women forget that we have our hormones as we get older. It changes everything, and it changes our what we desire to eat too. And even for me, like I don't desire chocolate, but that sweet thing, when that comes up, it's pretty powerful. So yeah, Good and Plenty. Good and Plenty. And a lot of women, here's something with the women and the hormones. I've had a lot of women say, I want to get back to the size 3 when I was a teenager or 20 years old. And, if you're past the age of 40, hormones, remember that, you're not going to get down to your size 3. Your body has a set point, and you have to work with that set point and work with your metabolism. But the one thing, don't beat yourself over, the pooch. A lot of women get the pooch in the belly, right? And I have like one friend at work, she just can't get rid of it. I mean, she works out, she lifts weights, she eats good, she's total, and she can't get rid of it. And I told her to go to a hormone specialist, and it really is hormones. She can't get rid of it because of the hormones and where us women store fat. It's how we're designed. So it's very hard to get a flat stomach after 40. And I know a lot of people say, well, Starry, it's easy for you to say you have a flat stomach. I still have to watch my health. I have to watch what I eat. I've said this before, you can be thin and very unhealthy with your diet. You can have a flat stomach and have high cholesterol and hypertension and be at risk for heart disease. So, yeah. Okay, God graced me with curves and I wear it well. And you know what? Curves are, I've said this before. As long as you are eating healthy and treating your body well, you can be, not overweight. We know I've seen some people that are obesity is a real issue, but you can be bigger, curvy. In fact, I think women look good when they're curvy. I think God designed us to be women and look. I wish I was a little more curvy. I'm kind of built like a boy, but I like curves in a woman. If I was a guy, and I'm not saying I'm, like liking women like that. I don't know how to explain that, but if I was a guy, I'd probably be more attracted it's just me, to a woman who's a little more curvier, because I think women are beautiful. I think all their curves are beautiful. Yeah. Oh, so Mario's eating. He's out of the room now. It's almost 8 at night and he's eating. Yeah. And I made him raw carrots, raw cauliflower, and raw zucchini. And I have some canned chicken and a little bit of white rice. And I put it in the pulser and I add actually grain-free a little bit of grain-free dog food, just a little bit. And now he's eating. Hi, Teresa. You missed most of the live, and it's okay that you missed it. You know what? When we're done, you can watch it later, because we've kind of had feeding, what is that called, buffering issues, and yeah, and hormones do change in men too. Oh, yeah, you're right, and I can attest to that because Mr. Hilder, it affected him. I think it really affected him, and he's 54, I think. And it affected him, I think, even with muscle loss and other things too. So, but you're right, Jim. Men have hormone issues too. So, it's just the nature of the beast when we get older, and that's why it's just so imperative to really watch what we eat and treat our bodies. God gave us this wonderful temple, and we just need to really try hard with being good. Food's a big temptation. So buffering so much. Oh, I'm sorry. It's still buffering. Yes, big time buffering. Let's see. Do I have anything? Let me just double check to make sure I don't have anything up. Hold on. I'm going to minimize. Cancel. Okay. All right. I've got everything off on my end. But I promise the next time that I will see about the format, and maybe I'll go back to the original YouTube, and I'll do some research. Crazy King Farm does. I'll ask her what she does with buffering. Later, but I get older, I don't crave it as much. That's what happened to me. I was raised as a meat eater, and it wasn't until probably in my 30s, and then I did the adventure racing, and I did these 24-hour races. The meat I just didn't crave it anymore. Oh, I'm so sorry, Prepper Princess. Turn off your cell phone. Starry, sometimes just updates with all. I'm sorry. They plugged in a cable. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a bummer. But I hate to do this. It's 8 o'clock my time, and I do have to, because I work tomorrow. Got to go take care of some sick people. I apologize for the buffering. Goodness. But come back and you'll be able to view the video, and we'll see if the video itself has any issues. We'll schedule another live. As long as you're here on Patreon, I would love to do some more of these live events if you like it. Please let me know on Patreon. Leave some feedback, and maybe I don't think next week, I'll be too soon, but maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in another 2 weeks. But I enjoyed all of you tonight, and could become a habit. So, and here, I'll grab Mario so he can say goodnight. He's actually awake now. What do you think, Mario? Right? Okay. So there he is. Look, he's such a, sometimes he just doesn't have any expression. What do you think, Mario? Okay, say goodbye to everybody. Say we love you, because you are the real star of my channel. I tell you what, if I didn't have this dog, I don't know what I do, because he definitely is part of the healing process. And all of you. And I just wanted to say before I go, God bless you all. You just don't understand how much you all mean to me. And I really mean that because the support and the fellowship is incredible. And, you know, I feel bad because sometimes I can't get to every comment. People still send me email, and it takes me a long time to respond because there's only one of me. But and I've read every single letter. That's the other thing. Throughout this divorce, I've read every single letter, every card. And you know, if I just can't possibly send thank you notes to everybody, but just know that it was incredible. It was incredible. So you guys are helping me through this divorce and this transition, and you are brought to me. My God, bless all of you. Hugs, 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 and you guys have a good night. And next time, I promise we'll get this all squared away so the stream is better. All right, bye everybody. Love you.